Hello guys, my name is Jonas and welcome back to my channel. So it's been quite a while. It's over a year since my last video and I'm sorry for that. Lots of things happened in the meanwhile. I finished my bachelor's degree, moved out of my parents' home and started my first job as a junior developer. So yeah, it's been a busy year. But I noticed that many people joined my channel in the meanwhile, which is quite surprising for me, since yeah, there have been no uploads for more than a year now. But I think we should continue on this tutorial series. Yeah, so let's see how far we got the last time. Yeah, we are loading our world objects and some terrain here. And I think we want to continue by initializing our player object. So let's start with this. I also hope that I managed to improve my English skills in the meanwhile. Yeah, I've been working for like 5 months in an English-speaking project for now, so I hope it's a little bit better compared to a year ago. But yeah, let's start here. We want to create a player object, and in order to do that, we have to load some new box, which will be dynamic, of course. We have to move it around. So let's create another helper class in here. And we call it body helper service. So, and in here we will have a public method for now. And that will return a body. Let's call it create body. Yeah. No. Now. Okay. Sorry for that. I'm used to the macOS shortcuts now, since I'm working on a MacBook currently. And yeah, I think I forgot everything regarding shortcuts working on Windows. So at first we create a new body definition here and set some definition to the body object, and then create a shape and a fixture for that body. We will also pass a few arguments in here, like our body will have a position, and it will have some width and height. And we will pass a Boolean value is static. So we can also create static objects in here. And we have to pass our world. Oh, stop. Typo. World. Okay. And our body definition needs a type, and this is depending on the aesthetic. So body def dot body type dot static body. So when this is true, it will be a static body, and in the else case, body type dot dynamic body. As you can see here, it also exists a kinematic body, but I haven't worked with that one so far. So we will only use these two body types for now. And our body needs some position based on our variables x, and we have to divide it by our pixel per meters. I hope you can remember that part. And we set fixed rotation true, that our object doesn't rotate. So when we later jump around, we don't want to have our player rotating around. Let's create the body object, world.createBody, body def. Okay, so that's the first part. Then we need a shape. Use the polygon shape. New polygon shape. And we set it as a box. And we use the width divided by 2 divided by ppm. And the height divided by 2 divided by pixel per meters. So you will see later how that turns out when we're able to load our body into the world. And we need a fixture. So we have to set our shape to the fixture, body.createFixture, fixture, and then we can dispose our shape and maybe also our fixture. No, we cannot. And we want to return our body. So in here we can now create body objects based on these parameters. Okay, so let's create some new package here. And we call it objects. And we want to have some player subpackage in here. And in here we want to have some abstract entity, which will hold some variables like position and velocity and speed and stuff like that, which will all the in-game objects share. And we will have a specific player class which will inherit the abstract one. So, no, we don't need another package. We just want to have the game entity. And this will be an abstract class. And our game entity protected. Yeah, we have some common variables here. Width and height, and we will have a body. Tag.body. So all our game entities will need some kind of body. And here we want to pass the width and the height and the body. So we don't need some x and y variables here, because we will take them out of the body position. So no need to pass them twice here. So body.getPosition.x, position.y. And we set velocity to 0 for now. We also set the speed to 0. And then we will need some, maybe we should set also the body to body. We will need some methods in here. Public abstract void update, which will be implemented in the player and other game entities. Public abstract void render method, and here we have to pass our sprite batch. Get body. So, and we can also prepare the get body method because we will need that later. Let's implement our player class now. That one will be quite simple for now, because in the first step our player won't move around, it just exists. Game entity, and we have to implement the abstract methods and the constructor. So, and in here we set the speed to 4. And yeah. In the update method, we want to move the x and y variables always to the current body position. Position.x times ppm. Position y times ppm. Alright. So, and now our x will always be the center of our body, and also the y. In the next step, we will have a look at our tilemap helper here. Within this method here, we pass our map objects, and we will create another one for the player and load it in here. So let's see what's currently happening in here. Yeah. Yeah, for now we're using polygons, and our player will be a rectangle object. If map object is instant of rectangle map object. So, and in that case, we want to have a rectangle which represents our player. Map object, get rectangle. Yeah, we have to cast it to a rectangle map object. And we have to look up the name, because when we have several rectangle objects, we have to set a name to always select the correct one. Rectangle name. Map object dot get name. So, okay. And if our rectangle name equals player, then we want to set up our new player. And for that we have to, in the first place, create a new body with our body helper service. So let's do this. Body body helper service, create body. Okay. And yeah, in here we have to pass our x, rectangle.getX dot rectangle dot get width divided by 2, because we want the center of the rectangle. Same for the y variable. Okay, and we want the width and the height. And it's a non-static object, and we need our world. So, great. And now we can set the player, and the game screen will hold our player object for now. Okay, so we need a setup for that one. Public void set player player. This dot player equals player. Okay, now we can set up the player, and yeah, I think that should be enough for now. We will see the player object due to the Box2D debug renderer, so it won't have any texture for now, and we don't have to update it, but we will see it. Yeah, let's go back to this one right here. Our game screen dot set player. We pass the new player object, and we have to pass the width and the height and the body. Okay, so that should be enough in here. Now we have to add the player object to our tiled map. As you can see here, we have some polygon objects here in our world, and now we want to add a rectangle. And when you press Control, you can move one entire square here. And as you can see, it got width 64 by height 64, and we have to set a name to player that the loader can identify this object here as our new player. So save it, and now we should be able to load our new player object. So let's start the game. Okay, great. We can see our new player object here. What we have to do now is to center the camera based on the player position, that the player is always tracked by the camera. So this is in our game screen. Update camera. Okay, so we have to get the camera position. And then we have to move it to the current player body position. So we set the X to this one, math.round. I will explain it in a second. Just let me get this done. Okay, what we're doing here is basically we get the player position, the X and the Y value, and bring it to our real world position here by pixel by meter. And then we perform a round operation by multiplying by 10 and dividing it by 10. This will give us a more smooth camera movement. So, and now we have to set the new position. And yeah, we can delete this one here. So that should be enough. Now our camera should be centered by the player center. Okay, that works. And what is left to do? As you can see, our player is here in the air and won't fall down because we have no gravity for now in our world, but we can change that. So let's set it to minus 9.81, and we have some real world gravity in here. And now our player should fall down, but not through the ground here. So as you can see, there is already some collision, and that's managed by Box2D. So we don't have to take care of that for now, which is pretty nice. So, but I think that's all for now. Yeah, in the next part we will make our player move and jump around. Yep. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.